Hey everyone, this is a guitar tutorial for God Turn It Around by Jonathan Reddick. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to my channel or give this video a like and comment below on what else you'd like to see in the future. Additionally, if you're interested in any of the gear that you see today, there are links in the description below. Alright, grab your acoustic guitar and a capo and let's get started. Alright, so you'll notice my capo is on the 2nd fret. We're going to be playing in the key of G to match the original key, which is A. Now this is the radio edit version, so if you're not used to it or it sounds kind of weird, it's because it's the radio edit. It's a little shorter than the live version, but the chords would be the same. And I believe the live version is just a half step down. So the chords I'm about to show you would still apply. Just put your capo on the 1st fret. Alright, so here are the chords you need to know. G, D, A minor 7, E minor, G over B, and F. Alright, so not necessarily a 4-chord song, but let's talk about that G because there's that G in the G over B. For the regular formation of G, just put your middle finger on the 3rd fret, top E string, and then the bottom E string is covered by your pinky, 3rd fret also, ring finger covering the B string, 3rd fret, and index finger goes on the A string, 2nd fret. So this is the regular G chord and it's used a few times throughout the song. I'm going to play G over B, which is really in the very first part of the song. Just keep the same shape, but emphasize the A string down. So you don't really want to pluck the lowest string now. And that's G over B. For A minor 7, it's pretty simple. Put your index finger on the B string, 1st fret, middle finger, D string, 2nd fret, and you're going to strum the A string on down for that also. For the E minor, put your index finger and middle finger on the A and D strings of the 2nd fret. And if you noticed, I strummed all 6 strings. Alright, and for D, put your index finger on the G string, 2nd fret, middle finger, high E, 2nd fret also, ring finger, B string, 3rd fret, but you have to avoid strumming the top 2 strings. Okay, and last but not least, there is a C chord in here, and you can play the regular C chord shape, or you can play the one I use. Put your pinky and ring finger back on the high E and B strings, just like you did for the G chord, but put your middle finger now on the A string, 3rd fret, index finger, D string, 2nd fret, so it almost looks like a G shape. The top 2 fingers are actually down a string, so just avoid strumming the low E for this. Alright, and there you have it. Now there is an F chord in the very end of this, and I'm not sure if the live version has this or not, but it really adds some spice to the song. Put your index finger on the B string, 1st fret, middle finger is going to go down on the G string, 2nd fret, and ring finger and pinky go on the A and D strings of the 3rd fret. And with this shape, you don't have to strum the low E or high E. Kind of an easier way to play the F chord. Now you could bar the entire 1st fret and do that version, but you don't have to. It's just a quick passing chord and it's really cool. It just adds a little spice to the end of the song. So be aware of that because it comes at the end. All right, I'll go over strumming pattern after we play through the song. But don't worry, I'll put the chords on screen for you and I'll say them as we go along. All right, here we go. C, G over B, A minor, E minor, C, G over B, A minor, C, G over B, A minor, E minor, C, G over B, A minor, G, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, C, G over B, A minor, E minor, C, G over B, A minor, G, A minor, G, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, C, G, B, A minor, E minor, C, G, B, A minor, and G. Hold G for a while.
He is up to something. He is up to something. God is doing something right now. He is up to something. He is up to something. God is doing something right
Coming right here,
now.
C,
He is healing someone.
D,
He is saving someone.
E minor,
God is doing something
G over B,
right now.
C,
He is healing someone.
D,
He is saving someone.
E minor,
God is doing something
G over
right
B,
now.
C,
He is moving mountains,
D,
making a way for someone.
E minor,
God is doing something
G over B,
right now.
C,
He is moving mountains,
D,
making a way.
C,
God is doing something
D, break,
all over my
E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, G over B, F, G over B again, C, G over B, A minor, G. Well, everyone, I hope that I was able to help you out with that tutorial. So let's go over some strumming patterns. And actually, the beginning of the song is pretty easy because technically the acoustic guitar doesn't come in. So if you saw some of my picking stuff that I was doing, I was really just making sure my thumb is on the bass note of each chord and my index finger and middle finger are focusing on the middle strings like the D and G or the G and B. Now, that's not really part of the song and you don't have to do that, but it's up to you if you don't have a backing track or something like that. Just like a small band situation, that would be my suggestion if you have to do that. But the acoustic guitar does officially come in, I believe, on the first chorus, and it starts on E minor. So just E minor, C, G, D, and there might be a few times where I've put my pinky and ring finger on that high E and B string of the 3rd fret, just like I did for that C chord and the G chord. You can do that for E minor also if you want like a brighter sound. So here's without that now. So without those two fingers pressing down the bottom strings, it just has a darker tone. And if that's what you're going for, great. And if you want to keep that brighter spot, just kind of put that pinky and ring finger down on the bottom two strings again. All right, so for the main strumming pattern throughout the song, I'm doing something like this. C, G over B, A minor, E minor. Now that's the second verse, and it also applies to the big chorus after that verse too. And without strumming chords, this is what the right hand sounds like by itself. A little slower. And even slower. I'm not really good at explaining strumming patterns. It's more by feel for me, but it should sound something like that. Definitely not something like... So obviously don't strum a bunch of 8th notes or 16th notes, but kind of make sure that you're flowing with the band and being respectful to all the other musicians. Next, we have that break on the bridge. You saw my thumb kind of pluck the lowest note, that 3rd fret E string, which is really a G if I'm playing this without a capo, and an A, of course, with a capo. But you don't have to do that. Again, it's really just the worship leader and the congregation and keys, I believe. So again, you don't have to do that. But if you're in a small band situation, I recommend kind of doing something like that just to kind of keep that tempo in the background. And one last thing before we go, watch out for that break at the end of the bridge. Sometimes it will catch people off guard, so just be aware of that, and it doesn't last too long. You're right back in on a full chorus right afterwards. All right, well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, comment below on what else you'd like to see in the future. And I have to say, I'm making this video because someone did just that. They suggested it in a comment on one of my other videos, and I said, hey, I haven't done the song, so I might as well do God Turn It Around. So here it is, and I gotta say, Jonathan Reddick is a pretty interesting guy. He actually is signed with Goatee Records, which is associated with Toby Mac, and of course, we all grew up with Toby Mac if you're from the old CCM days like me. So this is kind of interesting history there. Hope to see some really cool music from Jonathan Reddick in the next few months and hopefully next few years. Well, again, thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. God bless.